Hello guys, in this video let's talk about encapsulation. Let's take an example. When we talk about a capsule, so inside the capsule we have the actual medicine, right? That's some powder and all, and those powders are wrapped into some material, that plastic kind of material. The purpose is to protect the medicines from outside air, right? So the actual medicine wrapped by some material, that is encapsulation. We are encapsulating the actual thing, actual data by a layer, right? That makes sense. Before we proceed, let me create a class here. Class, let's say human. Inside human, let me define a variable string name, right? And now I want to access the property of human outside that class from another class. Okay, let me create a main method first. Main. So inside the main method, let me create an object, human object equal to new human, right? Now I can access the property through that object, right? Object dot name equal to, let's say, Vinayak. Okay, and if I want to print it, then I can access that through the object dot name, right? And if I run the code, I can access the value here, right? Programmatically it looks good, it is not giving any error, but technically, just think, if some unknown person want to know your name, then he should ask you, right? Rather than he will come and he will break your head, just take the data, yeah, I got your name, and he will disappear. That doesn't looks good, right? So that's what happening here. Some unknown person came through from a different class. He created the object, and without taking any permission through the object, he assigned the name and he took the name here, right? But that should not go like this. After creating the object, he should ask you, can I get your name, or can I set your name, like that, right? So to implement that, if I can do one thing, I can make it private, right? Why private? That property cannot be accessible outside this class, outside the human class, right? It looks good, but here we are getting an error. What is the error? That human dot name is not visible since we made it private. Okay, so if we can't access, then what is the need of private? Then this question arises, right? Okay. For the time being, let me comment this line also. Okay. Just think, if an unknown person came and asked me, what is your name? How many ways I can say? Like, I can say through my mouth, one behavior. I can write it through a pen. This is one behavior. I can simply type it on keyboard or on mobile. I can type it. So that is another behavior. So in different behavior I can say the name, right? And so let's implement that here. We in this class human, we have not provided any behavior to the class, right? So to provide the behavior, let me create a method, public void get name, get name, and here I'll print name, right? Okay, let me assign the name here, Now through the object I'll ask that class, can you provide the name? This class can behave like this class can give the name to you, get name. Okay, now if I run the code, it is printing Binayak, right? Okay, so here what we did, as of now what we did, we set a property to the class and we set a behavior to the class. In the property we have the value and the behavior is responsible to give you the information. Now it looks fine, but something looks weird, like we did it hard coded. We are not able to change the name. Like anyone will use this class will get the name Binayak only. Let's say some other person want to use this class and he want to get his name, another name, he can't do it. To make that flexible, let me give one more behavior to the class, public void set name. Of course we can provide any name to the method, but to give a meaningful name we are just putting it get name and set name. Get name will give you the name and set name will assign the name. That makes sense, right? Okay, and this set name, how will set the name? It will take an argument. The type of the name is string, so we'll take string name, name, and this dot name equal to name. Again the keyword, what is this keyword, we'll discuss in a separate video. So let's focus on encapsulation concept here. Okay, so we added one more behavior that will set the name. Now if I call the object before the get name, I call the object and I want to assign the name. So I'll call that method set name, and name will be, let's say, now in this time at this time I'll give another name, Arith, and now I'll run the code. See, it is printing Arith. So as of now what we did, we created a class, we set a property, and instead of directly accessing the property from another class, okay, we set that property as private to that class. And since private properties cannot be accessible outside from that class, so we set some behaviors to that class so that we can access the private property of a particular class through some behaviors, through some method, that is get name and set name, and through that get name and set name we are assigning the value, we can fetch the value, right? Here one more thing we can do, based upon our requirement we can make a class readable and writable also. If we comment this line, this method, this class will behave as a readable class only, we can't write it to the class. Okay, if you comment this method, the get name method, this class will behave as a writable class only, we can write the name only. See, we are not able to get the name, we are getting the error for get name, but we can set the name here, right? So we can make readable and writable through our requirement. Okay, so here we are wrapping this is the actual data, that private string name is the actual data, and we are wrapping the name through making it private. We are putting a layer to that name, and through the get name and set name we are accessing the value. So yeah, so I hope you get some basic idea about encapsulation. So if you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.